first is it's really quite nerve-wracking standing in front of 170 women and about 3 men. The second thing is I forgot my wellies, which is really embarrassing. And the third thing is I really love the whole women in wellies and us all shouting. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do a quick recording of it for social media. So if you just bear with me. So I'm going to do it as a selfie, okay? So it's going to be my face mostly. So I'm going to shout women, and then you're going to shout wellies. Women!
Wellies!
Women!
Wellies!
Women!
Wellies!
That's a good start. Right. Well, thank you very much for asking me to come here today. I've got notes because I tend to ramble, so this means that I'll not go over my 10 minutes. I'm talking to you about being a ranger today. It's actually going to morph into a whole load of other stuff, but I hope it makes sense as we go along. So really, when I became a ranger and started to work in conservation, a little bit like what Megan was talking about, I didn't realise that I was actually starting out on a career path where my day job was going to be saving the world. Now, when I was younger, I did actually want to be a superhero, to go out into the world and to help people. Well, actually, I wanted to be a fairy for a little while, but that was a really weird period in my life. Anyway, going back to this little girl, look at that picture. I really, really, really believed that I could fly. I used to hurl myself off of walls, believing that if I could just get enough uplift, I'd be able to fly all around the world and save people. And it was about around that time that my parents started to hide things like ladders, because my ultimate goal was to get onto the roof of the house and just go for it. Anyway, when I was a little bit older, I did what everybody else did. I went to uni, I graduated with a BA and later with an MA from one of the best universities in the country. Great. My parents were proud, my family was delighted, but I wasn't happy. I thought back to myself as Supergirl, this wee girl here, a young lady who loved the outdoors and loved being in nature. So, in my mid-20s, I decided to volunteer with the National Trust where I was living in the south of England. I liked the idea of a job working outdoors and learning about the environment that we all live in. And after one day, I knew that I'd found what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Now, when you choose an outdoor job, it's sometimes looked down on by people. I had all these academic qualifications, but I had no interest in settling down to a 9-to-5 office job in a city, working in an office where I'd just be another cog in a wheel. Now my partner Sandra, who's here today, and she's in the purple jumper there, she made a similar choice in life. After completing an internship as a librarian, before working in a small publishing house, she too decided that changing career was the right thing to do. Now, we were both accepted onto an apprenticeship programme called the Academy Ranger Programme offered by the National Trust. And we were paid a small wage, always helps, and took part in on-the-job training. And we went to college every couple of months as well. Now, we quickly learned that being rangers involved a whole range of skills. Firstly, there's all the knowledge stuff, okay? So we had to learn about nature, how it works, how it thrives. We had to learn how to identify a huge range of trees, birds, butterflies, insects, grasses, wildflowers, the list goes on. We were tested on things like Latin names, habitat conditions, food plants, a whole range of new information that we had to learn and understand. It soon became apparent, actually, that being a ranger required this huge amount of background knowledge to help put everything in the natural world into context. And then there was all the rest of the studying. Soil health, grasslands, woodlands, heathlands, uplands, lowlands, middlelands, wherever you want lands. Once we got a good grasp of all this learning, we were able to then put theory into practice. A big part of our apprenticeship was day-to-day working. So, we received training and sat qualifications in chainsawing, tractor driving, brush cutting, operating a quad bike, and of course, first aid comes in handy. And then we were also taught all these other skills such as fencing, tree felling, tree planting, hedge laying, and even making charcoal and scything. But the most important part of being a ranger, sharing your knowledge with others, and engaging with them the importance of working positively with nature and the environment. Now, we had to work daily with volunteers, people who were often twice, 3 times our ages, and we had to be their leader to ensure that the work was done to a high standard, that everybody stayed safe and everybody enjoyed their experience. Now that is people management at the end of the day, and it's at its most challenging. And if you don't have those skills as a ranger, you either have to learn them very quickly or find a new profession. The art of making people do what you want them to do in a way that you want them to do it is incredibly challenging and takes a lot of learning. And as a ranger, you have to learn, develop and finesse these skills very quickly, as often you'd be working in a dangerous environment where tools would be involved. To put it into context, imagine your dad with all his power tools and all his friends, and you want them to do exactly what it is that you want to do, which is bake a cake. It's tricky. Then there's leading guided walks and events. That's another part of the job. Teaching and inspiring the general public, the next generation, about nature, planning events, setting budgets, writing risk assessments. This is all project management, which all requires skill in marketing, financial planning, and health and safety. Again, being a ranger, you need all of these skills. I once led a course on making your own charcoal, and it was using one of those 45-gallon oil drums. It involved people in pairs filling this oil drum full of wood, lighting it, and then after about an hour, they had to turn it from here down to here. Now, I had to use my skills as a ranger to make that happen safely. That was absolutely terrifying. But the skills that I learned made it happen successfully. And because it was an event that I ran, we made 250 quid from the day. Now, being a ranger also requires resilience. After we left the National Trust, we worked for 2 years in the Scottish borders on landscape scale native planting tree projects. Now, this was one of the toughest experiences we have ever had. Our days would often involve 8 hours of planting at altitudes of up to 750 metres. That person there, that's me, and that's probably more of a grimace than a smile, if I'm honest. Now, you add in driving rain, you add in volunteers, and you add in all the other logistical challenges that you've had to overcome before you even get onto site. And you start to see that your skill set doesn't just have to be varied, it has to be exceptional. And finally, you need to be physically fit. Being a ranger is like having a free gym membership, but without the mundane torture of equipment like treadmills and cross trainers. Now, when you've been out on the hill for 8 hours, you know about it, which means that chocolate, all of a sudden, fair game, calorie-free, eat as much as you want. Who knows what each day may hold? It might be tree planting, could even be a day like Megan, out stalking, could be restoring peatland sites. But being rangers gave Sandra and I some of the key skills that we needed to then venture into our own business. We now own Lynbreck Croft. It's just on the outskirts of Granton. Now, when we bought the Croft, it was in a semi-derelict state. It had no real functional fences or buildings that would be key to building a new Croft business. So we had to dig deep and really draw on the skills, knowledge and experience that we had learned as rangers. The outcome has been the creation of a new, beautiful farming business, where all of the decisions are based on having a positive impact on the environment. Now, we have a range of animals, all of which we've selected as being suitable for our land, and all of which have a job to do. Build soil, unlock in carbon, keep our water and our air clean, all the stuff that we all want. Yes, they do go for meat at the end of the day, but whilst they're with us, we like to think that they live like kings and queens, wanting for nothing, able to express all of their natural behaviours and have a true life purpose, which ends with providing us and our customers with the highest quality produce full of nature's goodness. It was our knowledge that we developed as rangers that helped us to put practice working alongside animals to improve our environment. That's wee ghosty. And then, of course, our practical skills. Well, we've planted over 28,000 trees in the last 2.5 years. We've installed miles of fencing. We've built shelters for our animals. We've renovated an old building and built a new one. We've literally built a new farm business infrastructure from nothing, most of which we've done ourselves, others of which we've employed contractors to do. Now that involves managing people. Those days of herding and steering volunteers all of a sudden has paid off. And of course, starting a business requires investment. Now, we were lucky to gain experience in our previous jobs as rangers on how to write management plans and do things like grant applications, both of which some of you in this room will know are skills in their own right. We don't employ a farm agent to do this ourselves. We do it ourselves. Keeps costs down, and at the end of the day, nobody knows better than us what we need for our business. But you cannot build a business without building a customer base. And that's really what we're doing at the minute. We've had to use the skills that we developed as rangers: communication, planning, finance management, marketing, and transfer all of these to our new situation. We tell people our farming with nature story. We use social media, of which you're all going to be a part of later. We use Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Somebody's going to have to show me how to use Snapchat. And we post daily snippets of what we've been up to. We've done radio shows, BBC4, Farming Today, On Your Farm, and just recently a piece on climate change for the BBC World Service. And then we spent the last year doing this. We've been followed by a BBC TV crew for the next series of This Farming Life. All of this we've done to build awareness of our new business, and we hope to help us build a new customer base to which we can sell our produce, but primarily to raise awareness of the importance of farming with nature. The belief in what we do has also led us to join a network of farmers in a new group called the Nature Friendly Farming Network. It's very fluffy, Nature Friendly Farming Network, but we're a very serious organisation. We're farmer-led that is working hard to make sure that nature-friendly farming is given the place it deserves in a new government agricultural policy. In fact, tonight I'm changing out of my wellies, which I'm not, and then changing out of my trainers, which I'm wearing, to actually go down to London to meet with MPs, with Michael Gove and with other members of the Nature Friendly Farming Network to make our case for the importance of what it is that we do. So, I hope I've been able to explain to you today how becoming a ranger can quite literally give you the tools that you want in life. But what it does more than most is it embeds everything that you do in the health of our environment. If you do choose to go down this career path, and I highly recommend it, you will never ever lose that. You will take it with you wherever you go, and that's how you, all of you, can change the world. Because you will learn how precious and wonderful the natural environment is. So, go out, become Supergirl, because by living life, by respecting the environment, by being nice to each other, and by being a good person, you will, I guarantee, get you far. Thank you very much for listening.